Yo. Welcome into the ChrisBeCappinn Show, man. Top of the morning. Today is December the 11th, and there are 4 games in NBA for today, I think. 4 or 5. I think it's 4 or 5. There's 4 games in NBA for today, and we're going to jump right into it, man. Yesterday, always look back. 1-0 day for myself yesterday. I really wanted to get there with the 3 plays that we talked about at the end of the show. But, man, I was reluctant to pull the trigger on some of those overs. The first half over between the Lakers and the Spurs last night was an easy winner. The Spurs team total over was the easy winner. And I really liked Luke Cornett under his points plus rebounds yesterday, and that ended up being a loser. Lakers decided they're not going to defend anything yesterday. Didn't defend the rim, didn't defend the three-point line. So the play that we talked about was, well, the other play that I ended up getting there with was the Spurs plus the points. I thought the Lakers were laying too many points. We talked about it yesterday, but just because the totals kept going up, like I didn't want to get that to their team total over, even though it's still cash. So 1-0 day for myself yesterday. Spurs plus the 7.5. They don't even need the points. They end up winning the game outright yesterday. Hopefully you guys found the way to make some money as well. Let's go through the comments very briefly and get through these 4 games real quick, man. Felipe says, good morning, Chris. Boy. Thunder just disposed of the Suns. Wow, that was something. Yeah, they're not playing no games right now, man. They're not playing no games. I know there's a lot of people who liked them yesterday, like the Suns yesterday. Man, it's got to hurt to like the Suns yesterday. Nate says, good morning, Chris and chat. What happened to the Lake Show? Money making Thursdays. Let's find some winners. Absolutely. Good morning. Brian says, I took a beating yesterday. Homer move, taking the Lakers. Yeah, can't get there with them laying points. Can't get there with them laying points, Brian. What up, Rick Rose says, what up? 3-1 last night. Appreciate the work you put in morning. Appreciate that, bro. Appreciate that. He says he took Spurs plus 6.5 and 7.5. Good morning, Taylor. Peace is top of the morning, gang. Fox points cost me a bag last night. I know a lot of people that were on Fox yesterday. JaXon liked Fox yesterday after I got off the show. I was asking JaXon for player props, and JaXon liked De'Aaron Fox over his points as well. But I always say this, right? And there's something to note real quick before we get into the slate. With the Spurs, because they have so many rotational guards, Dylan Harper, Champagnie, De'Aaron Fox. Last night it was Castle. Like, you never really know who's going to go off. Even a Harrison Barnes could turn back the hand of time every now and then. I never like betting on their player props, and I think that's why we lost on Castle over his 5.5 assists. Against the Pelicans. Last night, of course, he ends up with 8 assists. Go figure, right? But yeah, it's just you never know whose night it's going to be. Let's see. Good morning, Lowe. Says he went 2-1 last night later with the Thunder and took the points with the Spurs. My only loss was De'Aaron Fox points. Let's make some money today. I like it. Smoke says he cashed on Rui under his rebounds. What's up? Dom says plays Suns first half team total under 53. And it was good to me. Let's get some more. Yeah, Suns team total under anything last night was a winner yesterday. Good morning, DJ says. Good morning, Chris. I'm so sick. Lakers are who we thought they were. Should have known that when Rick Paul just said he didn't think the Lakers were a true contender. I mean, you just got to look at the numbers, right? You look at the numbers and you can tell the Lakers are not a true contender. Not with the way that they play defense. They get in shootout with teams like the Spurs. They start missing. That's the thing, right? Like, you're going to have cold nights. Can you rely on your defense? The Oklahoma City Thunder always are going to be able to rely on their defense. Not the Spurs, but if the Spurs shoot, I think they shot 50% from the field or above 50% from the field and like 45% from the three-point line last night. If you do that, you're always going to be able to stay. Good morning, Jordan says, good morning, everyone. Spurs and Castle double cash. Somebody, was it Jordan yesterday? Somebody said that they didn't think the Thunder wanted to win the cup. I remember thinking, like, they trolling. I don't know if it was you or not, Jordan, but somebody in the comments yesterday said, I like the Thunder. I like the Suns on the money line. OKC don't want to win the cup. And I was like, huh? But that's neither here nor there. It might not have been you, Jordan. Somebody said that last night. What's up, Jay Carter says, what's good, Chris? He says, I like the early start time. I switched the Steve Harvey morning show with ChrisBeCappinn. Appreciate that, man. Let's jump into the games for today, man. So let's start with JaXon. Hit the like button for me if you can. Hit the like button for me too, if you can. Just to run the likes up, man. See if we can get some more people in here, some sharp people on to help handicap the games. So first up, we'll start with JaXon. JaXon went 1-1 yesterday. OKC minus the 14.5 was an easy winner. 15.5 with Devin Booker was an easy winner as well. But JaXon also liked the under, and the game went over by 5.5 points last night. with the total coming down after Devin Booker got ruled out, Phoenix just never really showed up defensively. OKC ended up with damn near 140 points. So 1-1 day for JaXon yesterday. Wanted to ask JaXon for another side and another total today. So we'll start with the Denver Nuggets. JaXon likes them minus the 9.5 against the Kings. It says the pick is driven. Oh, let me give you guys the prompt. So I asked JaXon, what's the best spread pick and total pick in the NBA today based on situational injuries and analytics? So JaXon likes the Denver Nuggets minus the 9.5. It says his pick is driven by overwhelming analytical mismatch that is severely impacted by critical injuries to the Kings core players. So analytical mismatch and team strength. The Denver Nuggets are an elite team, ranking 4th in the NBA net rating at a plus 8.6, boasting the league's number 1 offensive rating at 124, and number 1 in points per 100 possessions, 125.8. They are a machine of efficiency. The Sacramento Kings, on the other hand, are struggling mightily, ranking 29th in expected wins, 29th in net rating. The defense is particularly porous, ranking 26th in defensive rating at 119.1 and 25th in points per game allowed at 20.6. So you got the injury reports. The Kings devastation. Sacramento will be without 2 of their most important players, Sabonis and Zach LaVine. Sabonis is the Kings' anchor, leading facilitator, and primary rebounder. Without him, the Kings lose their interior presence and their offensive flow. LaVine is the primary scorer, 20.6 points per game, losing both guts their ability to score efficiently and defend the paint against an elite opponent. The Nuggets court intact. So while the Denver Nuggets are missing key rotational players like Aaron Gordon and Christian Braun, the MVP core, Nikola Jokic is healthy. And dominating. Jokic is averaging 30.3 points per game, 11.5 rebounds, 11.3 assists in December. His presence alone is enough to exploit this massive hole left behind Sabonis' absence. So then road dominance, the Denver Nuggets. Denver is in a strong situational spot, having won 10 road games. They're comfortable playing away from home and motivated to maintain their standings near the top of the Western Conference. So JaXon likes the minus 9.5. The other pick is on the Portland Trail Blazers and the New Orleans Pelicans, like the over 239.5. I like this one as well. It says the Pelicans defensive woes. New Orleans is one of the worst defensive teams in the league, ranking 28th in defensive rating, 120.7, 27th in points per 100 possessions allowed at 121.6. The Portland Trail Blazers are third fastest paced, 103.28 possessions per game. This high tempo forces opponents into more possessions, which is exactly what a poor defense like the New Orleans Pelicans does not need. Offensive efficiencies, while both offenses are below average, Portland is 20th in New Orleans. Portland is 20th. New Orleans is 26th in offensive rating. The high pace and defensive ineptitude creates a perfect storm for a high scoring game. Then it has New Orleans being gutted with injuries and Portland being shorthanded as well, without Dame and Scoot and Drew. I'm not reading all this situational breakdown, blah, 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 blah. Anyway, JaXon likes the over. I like the over in that game as well. We'll talk about it in just a second. 2 looks from JaXon. Link is in the description if you guys are interested in checking it out. Let's jump into the game. So first up, we have the Milwaukee Bucks. They will be on the road playing against the Boston Celtics. Look at the injury report real quick. We know that Giannis is still out. Both of these teams are like very rested, right? 3 days of rest compared to 4 days of rest. Boston will have everybody except Chris Boucher and, of course, no Jason Tatum. The Milwaukee Bucks have AJ Green listed as questionable. Still dealing with that shoulder injury from last week. I think when they played against Detroit, he was ruled out in that game. No Giannis, of course, and Taurean Prince remains out. So on the Boston side of things, they've been strong, right? They're 7-5 against the spread on the road, 9-1 against the spread in their last 10 games. The question you got to ask yourself is, did the break come at the wrong time for them? Because they were just getting hot, right? Boston has won 7 of their last 10 games. Last season, they won all 3 matchups against the Bucks. They covered 2 of the 3 spreads of this season. The last 4 have all stayed under the total as well. And then on the Bucks side of things, they're 7-7 straight up at home and against the spread at home. They're 4-6 in their last 10 games, and they've done the opposite of the Boston Celtics. They've won 2 of their last 10 games straight up. Neither of these teams really have a look-ahead spot. They don't play until, I think, Sunday and Monday. So both teams have a little bit of rest coming up. I think Boston plays against Detroit, which they beat Detroit in their last game. So I didn't view that as a look-ahead spot at all either. This number just kind of got away from me, man. It was 6.5 when it opened. It's now up to 9. I don't really want to lay that many points with the with the Boston Celtics on the road here. But I do think that they are the right side. And it's really just that simple for me. I don't want the Bucks without Giannis. I know that they've been a little bit scrappier at home, but we got to remember they just lost to the Philadelphia 76ers, and the Sixers won the second leg of a back-to-back in that game. And I was on Milwaukee in that spot. I know 9 is a big number. I think the Celtics are head and shoulders better than this Milwaukee Bucks team. Don't really want to fade Boston right now. Also don't have a lot of confidence in the play just because, in my opinion, when both teams have so many days of rest, that kind of pokes a hole in it for me a little bit. From a player prop perspective, I wanted to go and show you guys. Let me see if I can just get over the outline really, really quickly. So let's go here. So I think Kevin Porter Jr. is probably the best play on the board as far as player prop goes. His usage without Giannis has been pretty good, right? You can see in these last few games here, we can factor this to games without Giannis, and you can see that he's only played in 2. These 8 games here are from last season, so only these 2. This 20-point game and this 32-point game. Detroit's a really good defense. You can see that his minutes is up 36.5. So over 21.5 points is something that I considered. You can see that Boston is a pretty good defense against the as far as points allowed, against the point guard position. They're also top 5. So that makes it a little bit scary. But I think just based on pure volume alone and pure usage alone, I think you gotta at least consider Kevin Porter Jr. in this matchup with Boston being on the road. Like, somebody's gonna have to step up and score the basketball. The books are not expecting the Milwaukee Bucks to score a lot of points. The team total is set at 106.5. But I still kind of think that there's a little bit of meat left on the bone here for Kevin Porter Jr. Just based on his usage alone. So this season he's only played in, it looks like, 6 games so far. Usage rate is 25% so far. Last 2 games is 25% as well. If we go back to last season, we look at games where he had a 25% usage rate. He didn't do that well, but my point is just that for me, it's him who I think is going to have to step up. A big game from Ryan Rollins should be coming as well. Like, man, 18.5 for him though, and he struggled in the last couple games. But I would be betting on one of those 2 players if I'm playing this game. That's the way I see it. I'm probably going to stay away from this one though. Don't want to waste you guys' time. Let's go through the comments real quick and see what you guys are thinking. We'll move on to the next. And didn't really have a thought on the total either. Boston has been playing like pretty good defensively. If we go this real quick, let's see. So I mentioned Boston's, just record in general. If we look at them in their last 10 games, they are number 1 in offensive rating, 24th in defensive rating. The Bucks are 19th in offensive rating and 22nd in defensive rating. Celtics have come out really, really hot early. They're 7-2-1 against the spread in the first half, 8-2 in their last 10 games overall as road favorites. They're 2-0. They just beat Toronto in their last game. And the Bucks have struggled. They are 5-4-1 against the spread in the first half, but just 1-3 against the spread in the first half as a home dog, and 1-3 overall as a home dog in their last 5 games as well. So that's my thought process on this one. Let's see what you guys are thinking. Smoke says Max back on OKC to win the cup. I put a lot of money on OKC to win the cup last season, and they lost to Houston. I remember that. I was sick when they lost to the Houston Rockets and couldn't score the basketball. Shot like 12% from the 3-point line. I'll never forget that. George said, what's him? He said, only if Devin Booker played. Got you. Okay. I think they still would have got smoked too. Jared says, how you doing, Chris? Went 2-0 yesterday. 2-unit Thunder spread and 1 on the Spurs. Leaning Knicks for the semifinals right now, -4. Okay. Jared says, road favorites after losing at home faves are last 10 are 7-3, active on the Wolves -2. So we getting ahead, a little too far ahead. Which I got on this game. Let's see. Good morning, Anthony. Brian says Celtics first half -4.5, white threes maybe. Celtics team total over. How is it on the road? So last 10 games, the Celtics have been scoring. They're 8-2 to their team total over. And I think that's just, primarily what it's been. The problem with that is that the Bucks are playing at the second slowest pace without Giannis in their last 10 games. So Bucks are playing super slow. And I think that's why the total, because I immediately wrote over last night and then I had to do some more research and I didn't like the over as much. Let's see. Gusto says, good morning, Chris in chat. Already dropped a like. So don't yell at me. Yeah, appreciate you guys though. Appreciate you. I don't yell at anybody. I don't care if people don't hit the like, honestly. I do it for the people, man. All right, so next one up is the Clippers and the Rockets. Game will be played in Houston tonight. We look at the injury report for the Clippers, and they have the Clippers have Chris Paul, crazy enough, listed on the injury report is out. And then of course, no Derrick Jones. The Rockets have everybody in that typically plays. Tari Eason, of course, is still out, along with Dorian Finney-Smith and Fred VanVleet. So we look at this Clippers team. We know that they've been really, really bad, right? 6-18 straight up. They're 6-8 against the spread on the road, just 3-11 in their last 3-11 on the road in general. Only 3-7 against the spread in their last 10 games, and they're playing their 5th straight road game as well. On the opposite side, the Houston Rockets are 7-2 straight up at home. They're 5-4 against the spread at home, 6-4 against the spread in their last 10 games. And they're coming off a 13-point loss to the Dallas Mavericks, which was a terrible spot. It was the 5th game in 7 nights the last time that we saw them play. They never really even showed up in that game, and they didn't have Sengun. Sengun is off the injury report. This is the first meeting this season between these two teams. The Clippers won just one game against the Rockets last season out of 4, and they only covered that one spread as well. So the Rockets were 3-1 against the number last season, 3-1 straight up against this Clippers team. 3-4 went over the total. Houston does have the Denver Nuggets up next, but that game's not until Monday, so I don't think they'll be looking ahead too much because I think Denver did win that. That was when I was in Philly a couple of weeks ago, but I think Denver did win that game against Houston. I didn't even get a chance to watch that. I need to go back and watch that. But I don't think that is too crazy in my opinion. The way I think about this game, though, is I think over. I think either over or Houston team total to go over. So if we just go to, and I'll show you guys this real quick as well. If we go over to the Money Baller, this is one I didn't look too deeply in the player props. I'll tell you guys that. So we go over to Clippers, we go over to Houston. The thing that jumps off the page to me here is like I'm watching the Minnesota Timberwolves in that last game, and I think the one thing that maybe isn't is the Clippers offense has been god awful, right? We know this on the full season. You can see right here, they're 21st in offensive rating. If we look at their last 10 games, they're also 21st in offensive rating, but they're still a terrible defensive team as well. You can see last 10 games, they're 26th in defensive rating. Neither one of these teams play pretty fast either. Clippers 27th in pace, and we know the Rockets can play slow as well and be okay with that. And both teams actually been favored towards the under. You can see Rockets 7-3 to the under, Clippers 6-4 to the under. I just look at this Clippers defense and I'm like, I don't think that they're going to be able to stop Houston. Houston team total is 115.5. I think they can easily get to that number. And the reason why I would like to include the Clippers is because Bogdanovich is back. If we look at, I'm not going to be able to pull it up on the screen, but I like what I'm seeing from Bogdanovich. I think that this total is just a tad bit too low. I could see them, going up and over this total. I think that this one was one that opened a little bit lower and has pushed up a little bit. So let's just look real quick. Houston is open 220.5. It's up to 221.5. I agree. I think that this one could go up and over the total. We have a Clippers team that I don't think is going to be able to play any defense. I really don't. We just need them to be a little bit more efficient. Team against the Minnesota Timberwolves in their last game, Bogdanovich came off the bench. He didn't play great. He had 8 points. Chris Dunn had 9 points. He had 9 points. Chris Dunn had 8 points. I just like the shot making. I think if James Harden and Kawhi Leonard can make some shots in this game as well, to me, it's a game that the Houston Rockets can win by margin, and it's a game, that I think the total goes up and over. So Rockets team total over, full game over. would be the ways that I would look. And if I'm playing the spread, I think I'm laying with the Rockets too. It's tough to want to lay this many points with the Rockets, even though they are head and shoulders the better team. This line opened at 8.5 and it's up to 9 now. But those are the only ways I would be able to look at this game. And I didn't look at this one from a player prop perspective, at least not yet. If I get some time today, I'll go through the player props, but that's what I think about this one. It'd be Rockets team total over or full game over, thinking that the Clippers would be able to contribute as well. Let's see. Taylor says I said 3 plus 3s in 6 of his 8 games without Giannis is 154. What do you think, Chris? So going back really, really quickly to that game, because I already got Boston defensively pulled up. Boston, yeah, I think somebody, Taylor, is going to knock down a couple of threes. It could even be Gary Trent Jr. But he could bring Cater out. I think he could bring Cater out to the 3-point line and have some success. The kid is not going to want to be out there. I agree with your analysis there. The Celtics are bottom 5 3-point defense as far as above the break 3, and I feel like Miles Turner takes a lot of his threes from above the break. They're also 25th in overall 3-point frequency. So interestingly enough, the Celtics have done a really good job of protecting the rim. They're 2nd in opponent rim frequency, 7th in opponent rim accuracy on the full season. They're also 5th in opponent paint accuracy as well on the full season. So if you can beat them, you're going to have to beat them from 3. And we talked about this, right? I remember now that I'm saying this, it brings me back to the Toronto's not a good 3-point shooting team. Toronto needs to play a team. If they're going to be successful, especially to get off the losing snide that they're on, they're going to have to play against a team that can't shoot threes as well. And that doesn't defend the paint as well, because they like to get downhill. They like to live in the mid-range with Brandon Ingram, but they're not a great 3-point shooting team. And Boston went there, won the game, covered the spread as well. So, but I like the Miles Turner look. Somebody knocked down some threes in this spot. What up, B-Hop? He says this game is tough. Don't want to lay down with Boston. I agree with that. TR1 says, good morning, Chris from Toronto. Appreciate you for tapping in, my brother. Low says Celtics blow past the Bucks. No Giannis, no party. What's up, Jay Sunshine? Appreciate y'all for tapping in. X-Ken says y'all like right now. He doing this analysis for us. Y'all like right now. He's doing it. Yeah, appreciate you, my brother. What do you think about Harden points, rebounds, and assists? I haven't looked into player props front line, so I don't want to give you something that I haven't done a good job of doing my due diligence on. So I'll write it down maybe. Look into it later. Harden is a tricky one to figure out. First of all, when I think about his matchup in this game, I know he's gonna be hounded. Like they're gonna put a Sir Thompson on him, and that should slow him down a lot. So I'll probably be looking towards his assist to go under or something like that. But I need to dive into it. I would need to dive into it. We talked about this last week. I forgot about this. Last 5 games, and that is an absolute fact, man. Miles Turner, I gave you guys that in the last one. Dude is allergic to rebounds. I think it was under 5.5 for plus money. His rebounds are at 4.5 today, minus 122. Celtics are one of the better rebounding teams in the league. They're 13th in rebounds allowed. Miles Turner has not sniffed 5 rebounds in 6 straight games. Not even 5. It's been 6 straight games. He hasn't even touched 4. So that's something I also need to add to my short list. Miles Turner under his 4.5 rebounds. Dude does not want to grab boards, but he gets catered today. That's I guess a little bit better matchup as far as like keeping him in the paint. But last game he had Duran. He couldn't get no boards in that game either. And Drummond in the game before that, he couldn't get no boards in that one either. So and during the game before that as well. So even against the Wizards, yeah, it's something I'm gonna put on my short list. Dom says got to the window with Celtics first half minus 4.5. They're 5-0 straight up and against the spread. I could definitely see it. Brian says Houston trifecta, getting my Laker money back tonight with Houston. Lowe says Rockets destroy the Clippers. Clippers team total under. Steven Adams over. Rockets team total over. Dom says like it. Taylor says under for Harden. 24.5 points. Get 31% of his point in ISO and 24% at the free throw line. Rockets rank 7th and 3rd best limiting points in both play types. He's under in 6 of his 9 games, averaging 22.7 points. 16th against teams that are 16th or better at limited points via the ISO. Okay. I like the analysis there, Taylor. When I think about Harden, I'm a little bit traumatized with him hitting all them threes against the Celtics and covering that spread. Whenever I need Harden to do something, he does nothing. Whenever I need him to do nothing, he does everything in the world. It looks like Michael Jordan. So I'm not sure what I'll do there. What's up, Vario? Appreciate you for tapping in. He says James Harden back in H-Town, takes his points, rebounds, and assists over. Blunt says, you don't think 9 is too many points, Chris? Nah, I don't think so. I think the Rockets, we've seen the Rockets win games by margin this season, specifically at home, right? So real quick, Rockets at home. Let's see. They just beat the Suns by 19. They beat the Kings by 26. They did lose to the Nuggets. They beat the Magic by 4. Beat the Trailblazers by 24. They beat the Wizards by 23, the Nets by 28. So you got to figure out where you want to put where you want to rank the Clippers in that estimation. But these totals are 229 at home. That team total over makes a lot of sense in my opinion. They've scored 116 or more in it looks like what is this, 9 games? They've scored it in 6 so far. The first game of the season was against Detroit, so I guess you could take that one with a grain of salt. But Clippers just not that great defensively. That team total over is something that's probably going to be really, really close on my short list. Yeah, no, that's a fact, Taylor. I'm thinking the same thing. What's up, Fahrenheit? Appreciate you for tapping in. Downstairs talking about Miles Turner. Appreciate you, Fahrenheit, as always, bro. Reminding people hit the like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. All right, let's push through to the next one. We got the Blazers and the Pelicans. So line in this one is 4.5, and it's come down. We see some money come in on the Blazers. I'm sorry, on the Pelicans here. This opened yesterday. I wrote 5.5 down in my notes. It's down to 4.5. Total has only gone up. 237.5 is what it opened at. That's what I wrote in my notes yesterday. It's up to 240. You can still get some 239.5s out there. Told you guys at the beginning of the show I do like the over. I didn't bet it yet though. Portland will be shorthanded. As soon as I saw Klingen out, I was like, oh, that's more points. Then I saw Jordan Poole listed as questionable. I said, oh, that's even more points. If he's able to come back, inefficient points, but it's definitely more points. The Portland Trailblazers will also potentially be without Robert Williams. Scoot Henderson still hasn't played a game yet. Drew Holiday continues to be out. No Wesley, no Thibault as well. And Hansen is also listed as questionable for this game. So, the easy look, right, has to be a look on and not that the easy looks always cash, right? I felt like Fox Points was an easy look last night. It didn't really work out. He finished with 20, but I look towards Deni Avdija in this game. Over 34, and I'm not going to bring it up just for time purposes and show it to you guys, but, you can check out Outlier if you're interested. Deni Avdija points, rebounds, and assists in this game was what jumps out to me. I also like the over. I think it'll be played fast-paced. I don't trust Portland defensively, especially on the road. If they don't have Robert Williams, that's another center they're without. And if they have Henson, he's a really good offensive player, not a good defensive player. The Pelicans will be able to score. I like what I'm seeing from Derek Queen, that 30-point triple-double in the last game. Now you're getting Herb Jones back. Like that's another 3-point shooter. Jeremiah Fears, Sadiq Bey, Trey Murphy went over his points prop in the last game as well, even though I thought they had set it a little too high. He had 32 against the Spurs. And I'm expecting Portland to play with the same type pace that the Spurs did. So, I think, Trey Murphy, not that he's in the greatest spot today, but I think they should be able to get downhill, live in the paint. I like Derek Queen's matchup today. He gets a lot of his points in transition, and this is one of the second worst transition defense. Portland also fouls a lot. So I think Derek Queen has another big game today at 15.5. I think his points are live in this game. But going back to what I was saying, Deni Avdija, points listed at 25.5, points, rebounds, and assists listed at 43.5. I thought I saw 34.5 earlier. Maybe I'm tripping. Regardless, like this line, in my opinion, if he doesn't have Klingen out there, that's another player that he's going to be without. If he doesn't have Drew Holiday out there, it's another player that he's going to be without. And games without Drew Holiday so far this season, let me just look this up real quick. He's averaging 42 points, rebounds, and assists. This line is 43.5. He only got the 31 against the Memphis Grizzlies, who are really good defense as of late, but 52 against Detroit, 42 against Cleveland. That was the second leg of a back-to-back. 47 against Toronto, 60 against the Oklahoma City Thunder, 51 against the Spurs. So to me, I know it almost makes too much sense, but I would be looking at Deni Avdija over his rebounds and his points, rebounds, and assists If you didn't like the points, rebounds, and assists, I think the rebounds and assists goes over as well. He's averaging right at 16 so far this season. We know how great of a rebounder he is. We know that, he also comes into this game, I think, with 3 straight games and 7 assists, and he gets one of the worst defenses. We've been picking on this Pelicans defense all season. As far as assists allowed, they get allowed the third most assists on the full season. So I look towards Denny Avdia. I don't even know if it's the points you want to include or not, but I think that he's going to be the guy in this game. Portland comes into this game 6-9 straight up on the road. So you don't really want to lay too many points with them. They did win the last matchup early this season. They didn't cover the spread. They were 8-point favorites, won the game exactly by 8. The game did go over the 232.5 total, though. 232 total. Portland is 7-3 against the spread. In their last 10 games, they've lost 2 in a row, 5 of their last 6, fifth straight road game. The Pelicans are 2-12 straight up at home, 7-5-2 against the spread at home, 7-3 in their last 10 games. New Orleans has lost 7 in a row, but have covered 7 of their last 9. So they've been keeping spreads close. This is probably one of the smaller spreads that they've been laying, but that's the way that I would play this one, man. Let's see what you guys are thinking. Let's see. Pelicans money line for Dons. The points. Brian says, you think Trey Murphy threes and points are in play? Probably so. I will say this: the Portland Trailblazers aren't necessarily the worst three-point defense. Their defense is not great, of course, but the Pelicans give it up. I'm sorry, the Portland Trailblazers give it up in the mid-range, and Trey Murphy gets a lot of his points from the three-point line. So catch and shoot three-point shooters against the Pelicans. Against the Portland Trailblazers have not been great so far this season. That's my hesitancy. Pelicans, we know, are not a great three-point shooting team. Actually, a top 2 defense in the NBA as far as above the break threes allowed. They do the top half of the league in opponent three-point accuracy as well. They typically give it up on the interior, which is why I think Derek Queen has the best game today. I think if you want to play a prop, I think you probably want to look at Queen over his 15.5 points. Because without Clingan and potentially no Robert Williams, Derek Queen should get busy in this game. It's my thought process. Denny should shake back today. I'm going to be on his points. I played Queen 20, Denny Dimes, Trey Murphy, like Avdia triple-double and sharp points and threes. Same deal with Champagny in the Spurs game. We talked about this, Noah. Yeah. Someone would hit 5 threes. I think it's sharp. Okay. Derek Queen over his 4.5 assists. For Vario, he's been diamond. Coming off a triple-double. So he had 10 assists in that last game. Jose Alvarado over his 8.5 points. Easy money, man, Franks. Let's see. Brian says, for some reason, I can't hear you. Y'all let me know if y'all can hear me. Can y'all hear me, or is it just Brian? All right, I'm going to push to the next game. Nuggets and the Kings, last one on the board. Nuggets are now laying 10 points. This line open with the Denver Nuggets laying 8.5. Total open 238.5, up to 240.5 on a couple books. It looks like 239.5 is consensus. Appreciate y'all. Not sure what's going on, Brian. Why you can't hear me. Maybe refresh, leave and come back. But all right, so Denver and Sacramento. So line, I told you guys what the line opened already. Denver will be without Christian Braun, Aaron Gordon, and Julian Strought, of course. Sacramento already with injury. Sabonis continues to be out, and then Schroeder is also listed as doubtful. So we got a Denver team that's 11-2 straight up on the road, 8-5 against the spread on the road. They only 4-6 in their last 10 games. This is their 4th straight road game. They do host Houston on Monday, like we talked about, and they're 8-2 to the over in their last 10 games. Sacramento, total opposite, 3-7 straight up at home, 2-8 against the spread at home, 4-6 against the spread in their last 10 games as well. They are playing their first home game after 3 straight road games, 4 straight unders for them. They're also 8-2 to the under in their last 10 games. So we got a team that's 8-2 to the over, and we got a team that's 8-2 to the under. And I hate these spots because you never really know what's going. Denver versus Charlotte that we talked about in the last time that Denver was playing right before they had this little extended break. So immediately what jumps off the page to me is Russell Westbrook over his 16.5 rebounds and assists. He's over against Denver so far this season. There's no Zach LaVine. That's even more usage. He's over his assists in 3 straight games. I don't trust Denver defensively. They've been a shell of themselves defensively. And Denver likes to play fast. So I think Westbrook rebounds and assists, that one just is super easy for me. When I look at Denver, when I look at, the Sacramento Kings lineup without having Sabonis and without having Levine, I think that, weakens the bench even more because now you probably end up starting Malik Monk. I know Keegan Murray is back, but I'm not really sure. I think Denver can come out here, kind of name the number offensively. I think they can start early as well. They should dominate. So I have Denver's first quarter on my list as well, -2.5. It's only available on FanDuel, at least at the time of the show that I began the show. -118 is what the number was. So those are the things that I like in this game. Denver first quarter -1.5. Denver should be able to win this game and cover the spread. However, defensively, they stink so bad that I don't know if I can get there. And I also considered and I see this going up to 10.5 on BetMGM. So people are putting money on Denver. They should win the game, man. They should win the game and cover the spread. It's just, I don't know. Kings got kind of like a makeshift lineup. I don't trust the efficiency from Westbrook, but I do think that he'll be able to dime, which is why I don't really want to include his point. And the total, in my opinion, is also a little scary because I don't trust the Kings to be able to score the basketball. I don't trust Denver to get stops, but I also don't trust the Kings to be able to score the basketball. I just mentioned the 8-2 to the under in their last 10 games. So not that Denver's going to go out here and play, a whole bunch of defense, but we saw Denver play against a poor offensive team in Charlotte in their last game, and that game stayed under the total, far underneath the total as well. So it's not like the Kings play super fast either. It's scary, man. I low-key want to bet the under if I'm being honest, but I can't bet an under in today's NBA, not in a December 11th game with both of these teams being super well rested. So that's my thought process. Westbrook, rebounds and assists, 16.5. Denver first quarter. And I don't really got anything else for this game. That's just my quick thoughts. Brian says, just refresh you, right? Okay, glad that happened for you. Taylor chances without clinging compared to 13 chances on the season. Games with 15 plus rebound chances, he's over his 8.5, and 7 of his 8 games averaging 10.9. Pelicans allowed the 19th most rebounds in the league. Taylor, we got the same type brain, man. We got the same type brain. I love it. I love it. Brian says Westbrook points, assists, and rebounds. Westbrook, Denver first quarter -1.5. I see a 2.5. I didn't see a 1.5. Rush triple double, Adam says, +350. I think all of those things are live for sure. All right, quick recap. Westbrook, just talked about it. I don't know why I put that at the top. Westbrook points, rebounds and assists I like more than the idea. Either rebounds and assists or points, rebounds and assists. You got to figure out what you want to do there. I do think Portland and New Orleans goes over. Whether Jordan Poole plays or not, if Jordan Poole plays, I think, it'll be his first game back in quite a while, but it's just more points and less defense. And I do think Houston can score today as well. The Boston and Milwaukee game, I don't really have the greatest read in that game. But the things that are not listed here, Miles Turner, under his 4.5 boards, Derek Queen, over his 15.5 points, I think are also things that I have on the short list. I haven't made a bet yet today, but I will continue to go through the card and figure out what it is that I want to play. I'll send it out to the members. Hopefully we can keep the momentum going. We have been doing pretty well recently. I do appreciate you all for tapping in as always. It's not just me that makes the show. I, come on here and kind of commentate the show and give you guys my thoughts. But it's a lot of great handicappers in the comment section, man. And how much I appreciate you guys for tapping in and tuning in, sharing thoughts and looks every single day. Even the people that are wrong, because sometimes I'm wrong. But, it's good to, do your homework and, come on here and just kind of share your opinion, man. So I do appreciate you all, as always. Check the resources out there, all linked in the description if you guys are interested and learn how to handicap the games with the tools that I use. And that'll be it, man. Best of luck on all your action for today. We'll be back tomorrow. It's a big card for tomorrow. I'm actually dreading it. So I'm gonna try to start early so I can go through these games with a fine-tooth comb and try to find some looks, man. But yeah, that'll be it for today, man. Enjoy your Thursday. I'll catch you guys in the next one.